Well, hi. Today is Wednesday, April 2nd, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee. Rainy week this week. Boy, it looks like there's rain in the forecast just about every day and into the weekend, too. Well, it's spring. That's what's supposed to happen, right? I wanted to let you know that there's a new podcast that has started, and there's a couple of ladies that asked me to help them out with this, and I felt very honored to do so. The podcast is called Grief, Loss, and Life, and it's a podcast for parents who have lost a child. And tough subject, but they just no holds barred, rip the Band-Aid off, have a very real and honest conversation. And they've got a few episodes out now, so I'll put a link to it in the description here for this episode, so you can go and take a listen to it. It's good. It's really, really good. And I think that for just starting to do a podcast, and it's the first time both Chris and Candy have done a podcast, I think they sound phenomenal. They sounded very relaxed and very honest, too. They didn't hold back at all, right from the beginning. So I encourage you to take a listen. It is a Grief, Loss, and Life. That is the name of the podcast. And again, it's in the description. Coming up in just a bit, we are going to talk with the good folks at ThinkSpace IT. That is Jessa and Jason Erickson. And we're going to talk about some myths that surround IT. As an example, if you have an Alexa in your house, is it listening to everything? Is it monitoring everything? And we'll let you know exactly what's going on with that. So that's just one of the topics that we broached, and that conversation is coming up very, very soon. The Mile Away on Old Lincoln Highway north of Council Bluffs is bringing you the Luck of the Draw Dart Tournament this Saturday. Buy-in is $10 with more money added to the pot after 20 sign up. There's food, there's drinks, there's music, there's prizes. And sign-up begins at noon this Saturday. Don't forget, the Mile Away is now open for lunch Tuesday through Friday from 11 to 2, and they open up for breakfast beginning at 10 on the weekends. That's the Mile Away, Old Lincoln Highway in Council Bluffs. Just Sue Creative can help you build your business with website design, search engine optimization, content creation, marketing, everything you need to take your company to the next level. Sue Pitts has a passion for small businesses, helping them thrive in this digital world. A great starting point is visiting her website, justsuecreative.com, and then schedule a free consultation. It's easy. Just click on that free consultation button, and you're on your way. Sue helped me with my website, so if you go to my website, leshillsmedia.com, and take a look at that, you can see what kind of work she does, and she can help you too. Visit justsuecreative.com. And since 1870, Avela Bank has been providing Iowans with high-quality financial products and services to fit their needs. Whether you need a loan, would like to start a new business account, need to save some money for a trip, or maybe you're looking to open a personal checking account, Avela's qualified bankers can help you with all of that and more. Visit avela.bank to learn more. Joining us this morning, it is Jessa Erickson and Jason Erickson from ThinkSpace IT. Thank you so much, and very glad that you could come be a part of things. And this is what I love about you people. Anybody that says, oh, IT is stiff and boring, you haven't met Jessa and Jason yet.
Stiff and boring is not in our vocabulary on a normal basis.
No, that's not at all what we're going after. How's things been going up there? I know that you're based out of Walnut, Iowa, which is okay. So you deal with the latest in technology, and Walnut is known for the earliest of furniture and everything else.
Tried and true is what they're known for, yes. Yeah. The whole town's downtown is devoted to antiques. So Walnut is Antique City, Iowa. If you want old stuff, we got it.
Do you have any in your office? Is that anything going on in there that we can take a look at the antiques? Maybe you can just open up a second shop in there with that.
In Jason's office, maybe, but not in my office.
No?
No, I'm totally kidding.
Well, I thought we'd talk a little bit today about some of the things that go on that people may have a misunderstanding about when it comes to IT. That a lot of times we have this general belief about something, and it may or may not be true. I don't know. I think in some cases, might it be?
In some cases, depends on which version of the truth you believe.
Okay, so this thing, this phone right here, can it read my mind? Because it seems to act like it can.
Yours can. Nobody else's can, but yours can. You just got a special model.
Yeah, I have the that's the one that I went and picked up, and I said I wanted the Enigma model. That's what I wanted.
Well, I mean, let's start with that one, Jessa. That's a really good place to start. Is why my phone knows so much about me? Simple answer is you gave it all the information in the world that it needs to know about what you like, what you don't like, who you talk to, who your friends are, and then what your friends like. It's kind of funny how that works. And it'll pick up key phrases, that kind of deal, and all builds your advertising profile about you. So when you pick up your phone and it brings up, hey, you know, it's 8 o'clock in the morning, you need to go get your coffee. McDonald's is having coffee sales. Yes, McDonald's, I just gave you a plug. I'll take a check.
And you're about to see some ads on your phone for McDonald's.
You're going to see ads, you know.
And actually, probably more accurate, you see ads for Burger King now.
Yeah. Well, it's one, who's paying for the ads, and two, who has the device. Like, I'm pretty good at covering my footprint, so a lot of times I get really bizarre ads because it doesn't know what to sell me. There's other folks I talk to that it's like every waking moment they know exactly what's going on. So it's not a matter of your phone or your computer, you know, can read your mind, which it sure feels that way. It's your buying habits. It's built a database of who you are, sold that database to all these other fun folks that want to get you to buy stuff. And that's why it happens. It's not quite prevalent here in the United States as in some other parts of the world. There are some test markets going on where if you walk around downtown, your phone's going to be broadcasting, hey, I'm so-and-so with such and such consumer ID. And you'll walk past a store and it'll say, you know, hey, Bob, guess what? We got a sale on those socks that you like in here. Why don't you come on in? And
Right.
it'll be right on the front of the store. You know, it'll be on their digital signage. That's happening overseas right now. And it's starting to slowly percolate over here as well. Billboards will probably be the first thing that will confuse people when it starts doing that, where it'll just take an analytic of, here's all the people on the interstate right now. What is their most common purchase as a group? And the billboard will switch over to show you what most of the people around you want to buy.
That's unsettling. I don't want that.
It is super creepy.
I don't want to see that kind of thing. It's, but that's the world we live in, you know, and we're all doing it voluntarily.
Oh, yeah.
Because, I learned a long time ago that there is a setting in your phone that you can go through and turn off all of the tracking, but all your apps will stop working because in that user agreement that everybody doesn't read and clicks on, it says it in there that you have to have that on in order for it to work. So, and that's how they can keep track of you.
Well, and that's how they make their money. I mean, no free app is free. Anybody who tells you that their free app is free is selling you something. And a lot of times what they're selling is not necessarily something to you. They are selling you.
That's true. That's the saying is that if you are not purchasing the product, you are the product.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. So this is a scary topic. We should probably find another myth, Jessa, because I think this is getting a little unhappy. I don't know how else to put that.
This one's not a whole lot better, but I still want to talk about it because most people. So privacy / incognito mode. A lot of people think it's totally private. I know you're shaking your head, but most people don't understand what it really does.
Mm-hmm. Why don't you answer that question? You seem to be smug and the expert.
No, I'm not smug. Anything but smug.
Well, I mean, this isn't the Jason show, so make sure that you jump in and answer some of these.
I will.
See what I mean? This is what I'm telling you. There's nothing boring or about IT when you get these folks in a room.
Yeah, we'll argue all day long. We're good at it. So incognito mode, I've had this several times where people think if they kick incognito mode on, or in private or whatever version of browser that you have, that everything is like magically encrypted and secret and nobody knows. The truth is, all that is doing is having a quick and ready way to destroy the cookies and tracking on your computer. It is not destroying anything out in the world. Almost all your tracking and that kind of stuff is handled by Google. Google owns all like 90% of all this stuff. So when you're going out into the web and you bring up your incognito mode and then you launch Google, well, congratulations, you invited the person tracking you into the room. So now they know, as soon as you launch that Google thing, they know who you are, where you are, what you're doing, because they'll have information like your IP numbers, your most common things, your machine ID, that kind of deal. So Google is still going to be able to track you based on your searches and such in there. What it won't do is it won't give it to the third-party websites as much, okay? So when you're going to bobswidgets.com and you're using incognito mode, they're going to put something called a cookie or a tracker on there.
Bobswidgets.com. Okay.
Yeah, got it? Okay. Bobswidgets, yeah, go register that. But they're going to put a little piece of code on your machine. It's very small. It just says this guy's ID is this. And what that does is it allows you, so when you go back to bobswidgets.com 2 days later, it remembers who you are and what you bought. What incognito mode will do is as soon as you close that browser, it's going to delete that little bit of code so that Bob now has no way of knowing who you were, and you, when you go back, are going to have a little bit harder time getting into your session. If you truly want something safe, secure, just don't go online, quite honestly. But there's some secondary apps out there. There's some VPN tools. I don't recommend any one VPN over the other because there's always tracking. There's always this, that, and the other thing. They may secure something from your desktop out, but if your browser has built-in trackers, which, like I said, Chromium, much of those are very famous for having built-in trackers, that information is still being pushed out like crazy to the aggregators, the data collection folks. So they'll still know who you are. And every now and again, when you're surfing and it tracked who you were because you went through the Google browser, it's still might pop up on your feed on your phone, or maybe in the future on a billboard saying, hey, driving down the road and all of a sudden Bob's Widgets billboard pops up because everybody's, Todd sending everybody to Bob's Widgets for their widget needs.
Something similar is already happening. I can look up something on my phone and then, watch some rerun of something on Hulu, which, is using online ads. And I'm suddenly seeing an ad for what it is I looked up on my phone because all of my accounts are linked together. So it's able to track all of that. I find it creepy. It doesn't make me want to buy anything.
Well, I mean, one of my favorite, and this is going off your topic, Jessa, but I think we've beaten that one to death too. Yeah. One of my favorite things that I used to do is when somebody annoys me, like a friend of mine absolutely hates cats, absolutely hates the things. So what I'll do is I'll send them an email because I know they have Gmail. I'll send an email to their Gmail account saying, hey, just checking in, seeing how you're doing. But then I'll write the word cat, kittens, and cat toys like 500 times in white underneath it. So it's a white on white thing. They can't see it. But it'll register that many the word cat, kitten, and all that has been used in their email. So Google will send out going, man, this guy loves cats.
This is next level pranking stuff.
Yeah.
Jess, I was going to ask you how difficult it is. See, guys like me, I'm essentially walking around ignorant to all of this stuff that you guys know. So I can pretend to have a bit of bliss about the whole thing. But see, you guys know it. So how do you still function and getting out there and doing, like you said, you were playing a game on your phone, you know what's happening. How do you disconnect knowing all of that and still be able to be in the moment? Exactly.
Yeah.
Acceptable losses. That's what it comes down to.
There comes a point when, yeah, exactly. You just, you got to think about what you're doing and what could happen. And sometimes you just got to ignore it. I mean, there's a lot of things, a lot of the way they get their data, there's just no getting around. So you just kind of accept it for the most part.
Yeah, it's I can, as I said, I can go through my life and I'm have an easier time of ignoring it, I think, than you do.
Ignorance is bliss, my friend.
Absolutely.
So ruining people's lives right now by having this conversation.
Sorry, everybody.
That thing with changing the color of the fonts of the text so they can't see it and spamming them through the back door with a bunch of cat videos. That is hilarious. I think you have just created an activity for me tonight.
As long as you're not doing that to me, we're fine.
I don't know different things that drive you crazy, so I can't. Well, yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, there's maybe a few. What other kind of myths do you have there on that list?
Not that I want to beat this subject to death, but the myth about smaller businesses not being a target for cybercrime because they're too small. That's complete and utter BS. A lot of times, the cyber hackers will actually go after smaller businesses because it's easier.
Mm-hmm. The security
or so
is
they
not
think.
as good.
And shameless plug, this is why you work with somebody like us who can help you combat that as much as possible and reduce your risks as much as possible. But the myth that somebody's too small to not be targeted, complete BS.
Yeah, that would be me because I get all of those kind of spam things. And I know somebody that got hit with, the scam that's going around of you have unpaid tolls that you need to pay. Actually got hit with that because this person had been in one of those locations where there was tolls, so thought it was real. Mm-hmm. And next thing you know, bank account's drained.
Yeah.
So, and I get those frequently. I get the you have violated copyright on Facebook, and that happens all the time. But yet they want me to click on a link that just is a bunch of random letters, which I'm sure that Facebook would do.
Yeah, exactly.
You're behind in your IRS payments. Please go to Walmart and get gift cards to pay us. I always like those.
Yeah. Well, I was able to pay my overdue taxes that way.
Oh,
you're saying that they didn't actually make it to where they said they were going? Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, so we got some letters we got to write to Todd later.
I will get right on that.
No, I guess that there's our big takeaway for today here, folks, is no government agency is ever going to ask you to go buy gift cards to pay your fines.
No.
And no police, because I've gotten this one before where it's like, you need to pay your taxes. Go get us a Walmart card, or I'm going to have the police break in your door in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, you're not. So, yeah.
Well, and plus, the IRS is not sending you an email to get you to pay your bill.
No,
that's just, it comes certified mail. I mean, that's how this works.
Yeah.
So
government generally does everything by mail.
But still, there is, years and years ago, I used to work over at PayPal in Omaha and would field calls about this, that, and the other. And they taught us very early that all of the scams say "Dear PayPal user" instead of the name.
Yeah.
But still, PayPal's not sending stuff out that way. So that was a lot of the calls that I would field is they would be expecting that they would call and check. And what I always told them is, well, I got the phone number from that email and I'm talking to you. Are you real? And I said, here's what I want you to do. Get off the phone with me. And I understand it's going to take a little time, but you'll feel better about it. go directly to paypal.com. Go to the PayPal website and get the contact info there and then call back. That way, don't click on a link to get to me. Go directly to the source. And that's typically would help people out. But this kind of stuff's been going on for a while. It's just more sophisticated now.
Yeah.
It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I mean, come on.
There's really, really smart people out there that could be making money legitimately.
Yeah. But it's more fun to have this as a full-time job instead.
More fun to be evil.
Yeah. and they've done super sophisticated because, I mean, talking about just a small business thing, a lot of times before they'll launch their attack, they'll know everything about your business before they'll launch the attack. They'll know how much money approximately you bring in a year. They'll know how many employees you generally have. They'll know who your employees are. They'll know what kind of assets a lot of times that you have. So that when they launch the attack, they determine first and foremost, how much can this business afford to pay before they're going to run somewhere and ask for help.
Yeah.
So that's the big key part of it. I mean, if it's a small business, they might hit you for $5,000 because they say, this company can absorb losing $5,000 and it won't hurt them at all and everything will be fine. Or it might put them under. They really honestly don't care. But that's their guesstimate as to how much free cash you should have floating around that you can pay something off without running to the police, FBI, that kind of deal. And honestly, that call to the FBI, that call to police, the call to InfraGard, those kind of folks, you need to make those phone calls. Before you hand over money, before you do anything, you really need to get law enforcement involved. One, they might be able to cut the attack off early. Two, they're going to be able to help other people in the future from having the same problem, So, get your IT folks involved right away, too, because a lot of times if you've gotten an attack like that with a warning and a threat, first thing you need to go through is unplug all your stuff. Just turn it off, turn the power off, get a hold of your IT company, and have them come out and do a quick sweep through all of the equipment to make sure if there's any hidden little surprises that we can take care of those. So.
How often, when something like this has presented itself, do you guys get the call before the damage is done?
Not often enough. I would say less than 10% of the time we get that, hey, I'm having this problem, what do I do? Call as opposed to, we've been trying to fight with this for the last couple of days. It's not getting any better. Now what? And that's when we really have to start pulling backups and hope the backups are okay and that kind of deal. A lot of small businesses go under from an attack like this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. This is one of the number one reasons businesses fail nowadays is, cyber terrorism, cyber attack, or a lot of times they just call it, technology issues. So it's, the loss of that data that made the company who they are, if it is not replaceable, the company really doesn't exist anymore.
It's virtually impossible to bounce back at that point.
Yeah. Especially if you're in manufacturing and such.
What other exciting things do you have on there that maybe folks would be a little surprised about?
Why are these get so dark?
Sorry. Well, then I'm going to skip that one and that one because those aren't fun. Oh, should we talk about good old Alexa?
Go ahead.
All right. So the myth is that Alexa is recording everything. Now, I don't personally know a whole lot about this. All I know is that I can turn on my lamp, I can turn it off, and I can ask it to tell me the news. That's as much as I do.
I used to be able to turn lamps on and off back in the 70s. You can just clap and do it. I mean, I don't know why you have to.
The clapper.
It's good to go.
No, but is Alexa listening to everything? I mean, if you have one of those turned on in your house, is it Have you just completely invited Big Brother into the room?
Do you want the happy answer or the sad answer?
I did. The honest answer is what I'm after.
The honest answer is, considering most people leave it as default setting and that kind of deal, it is recording a lot of what's going on in your house. Now, it's not necessarily recording audio files. What it's kind of recording is snippets, and it's doing text to speech. So it kind of has a repository of words and phrases and things that have been said in the room. Because it's always listening for Alexa. It's always listening for, whatever key phrase to launch it. But in order to do that, it has to be listening to pretty much everything we say. And of course, all that is stored over at Google again and Amazon and that kind of deal. And you can go into, I think you can go into both Alexa and Google, and you can pull up your transcript of what the devices have recorded.
Really?
You can also delete them too.
Yeah.
Actually, it says right here, if you go into the mobile app, click on More, Settings, Alexa Privacy, and Review Voice History, you can delete one or all of the queries and just even certain ones if you want.
Has it gotten good enough now to where if someone says Alexa on coming in over the television, that it's not going to activate? Because once upon a time, when they first started doing those Hey Google commercials, my phone would light up.
Yeah, it still is a problem.
Ours doesn't do it too much.
I mean, they have some security pieces built in to modify the way that Alexa comes across when it's spoken on TV. And it will, it will keep it from triggering Alexa so much. However, with any analog type thing, it's going, transferred, changed, re-encoded, and then shown on your TV finally. And then if your TV speaker is a little off, it might still trigger your Alexa. And it happens fairly often in our house, actually. I mean, our Alexa's pretty close to the TV. And every now and again, in the middle of a movie or something, it'll randomly trigger. And sometimes it's not even when it says Alexa. It thought it heard somebody say Alexa. Yeah.
The scariest thing that happened to me was several months ago. We were here watching a movie, and the speak into your remote thing somehow thought that it heard something. So the little blue bar came across the bottom, didn't say anything. Yep. And then the voice that came over the television whispered, "I thought I heard something." Well, that was unsettling.
Yeah. They tried to humanize these devices to the point where they were going to be your best friend as opposed to your tool. And they quickly realized that we don't necessarily want technology as our best friend. We want the tools. We want the stuff to make our lives easier. We don't want to go out to the pub and have a beer with our Alexa,
I think probably the most dangerous sentence that you can say right now is, Alexa, log into my 23andMe account.
That's still in litigation type stuff.
Yeah, we don't know where that's at. I didn't send them they don't have my DNA. Well, they probably do, but it wasn't for me.
Although I do know, I do know a little bit about that too. If you do have 23andMe and you've got it in the past and you're worried about people getting a hold of your DNA and your history and your data, you can actually go to the 23andMe website because of all this legal stuff and request that they destroy your DNA sample and they destroy your data. You are allowed to request that at no cost.
Now, will they do it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
All right. The lawyers are all over them right now. Of course, they're going to do it right now.
That's true. It's probably, there's probably a lot of people that are pretty nervous right now with everything that's going on. So,
well, and DNA is a blueprint to what you are and who you will be. It doesn't necessarily provide this guy really thinks this way. Your DNA is not going to necessarily do that. Think of it more like, just strictly blueprints is what DNA is. And so you can build this god awful facade in the Gothic architecture or whatever, and that can deal. But it's not going to make me who I am. Your life experiences do that more than anything else. But yeah. If people get a hold of your DNA, the worst they're going to do is tie you to a crime that you shouldn't have committed in the first place.
Well, that doesn't make me feel any better.
The FBI's got all that data already anyway.
Okay. Before we wrap this up, Jess, I wanted to talk to you just real briefly because you brought something up very recently at a Council Bluffs Business Connection meeting, of which we were both members, and you had talked about being an IT company that is woman-owned and really one of the few, I think, that are. And I just wanted you to touch base on that a little bit because I think that's something to be pretty proud of.
Yeah, it's not super common. I've never actually looked up the statistics to see approximately how many 100% female owned IT companies there are. But something that has surprised me with our peer group and going to our quarterly meetings is that there are actually a lot more than I ever would have expected. So that's pretty reassuring. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I also know that it's still a very male-dominated industry. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm always up for a challenge.
Which is why you hired your husband.
Exactly.
Another reason to yell at me. That's what it's all about.
Oh, whatever.
Jessa Erickson, Jason Erickson, ThinkSpace IT is a company. Go to ThinkSpaceIT.com and you can learn all about them and how they can help your business. Thank you so much for your time again today, and looking forward to seeing you again really soon.
Thank you.
Looking ahead to next week, I'm going to be making a trip back down to S&B Country Kennel off Bungie Avenue, south of Council Bluffs, and taking a look around and bringing you some more interviews and some more views of what's going on there at the dog kennel. You know, S&B Country Kennel has become the top spot in Southwest Iowa, and you need to know your dog will receive only the best. Boarding, daycare, grooming, self-washing, training, even a membership available to a dog park over an acre in size. S&B Country Kennel also has rescue dogs, so check with them about adoption possibilities. Unlock your potential with the best wrestler camps in Council Bluffs. Whether you're looking for an intensive day camp, a focused weekend camp, or the ultimate challenge at their best 20-day camp, they have something for everyone. Day camps are perfect for beginners. Weekend camps dive a little deeper than the designed for wrestlers who want a more intensive training and personalized coaching. And then their flagship summer camp is the best 20-day camp, featuring 50 practices, drawing young athletes from all across the country. Go to thebestwrestler.com to learn more. And thank you, Bryce Taylor with GLI Insurance Group, for being a supporter of what we do here on Morning Coffee. And I chatted with Bryce earlier today. We have another of our restaurant reviews coming up very, very soon. And he said, what do you think? Should we go to breakfast? I said, yeah, let's go to breakfast. So look for that coming very soon here on Morning Coffee. And don't forget that GLI Insurance Group is a locally and family-owned independent insurance group that's been helping people find the best possible plan for them for over a decade. Bryce has his office just up the road from Council Bluffs and Crescent. And he's also the founder of that Facebook group, Council Bluffs Food Lovers. So, again, we're going to be bringing you another restaurant review that is going to be coming up very, very soon. Well, that is going to wrap things up for this show on this Wednesday. Thank you very much. And don't forget, all week long, you're going to need your umbrella if you're going outside. Just best to have that. I don't know where mine is. Okay, well, I got to go look for it. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.